Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Relationship Maintenance, your relationship place to talk, learn, and grow. I am your favorite relationship expert, Trey Kearney. Yes, I did say expert. I have been married, I have been single, engaged, married, divorced, in a situationship. Anything you can name, I've been in it. So not only do I have experience, but I'm a certified life and relationship coach because I went and did the work so that I could be here to live out my purpose, to serve the people that God assigned to me through my gifts, talents, and more than anything else, my experiences. So come on in and sit down, grab a seat, and we're going to talk about tonight, why do people cheat? Let's get right into it. And the reason why I'm talking about this tonight is because I talk about relationships basically, and that's why we have relationship maintenance because relationships need to be maintained, sustained in order to remain in healthy spaces, right? So we get our cars and everything maintained. We maintain our cars, our appliances, we maintain everything but our relationships. We don't go and get us a relationship mechanic. So just call me your relationship mechanic. So the reason why I'm talking about this tonight is because somebody sent me a DM and asked me, little old me, why I cheated. I get this question often, and I don't mind because I share my journey in order to help other people to be the light at the end of somebody else's tunnel. So somebody sent me a message and asked me why I cheated. And people often question that, and people often ask me, how do I think I can teach about relationships when I cheated on my husband, when I went outside of my marriage with a married man and it didn't work out? Anywho, y'all know that I believe that 9 times out of 10, if you leave a relationship for anybody, or if you leave a relationship on a shaky foundation from the beginning, that it is never going to last. So I'm going to tell you tonight 3 reasons why people cheat. And I'm going to tell you this: cheating is always a symptom of a bigger problem. Somebody write that down. Somebody write that down right now. I would love to hear your comments in the chat, questions, anything you would like to ask. If you've been cheated on, I have been actually the other woman. I have been the side chick. And I've also been cheated on. So I feel your pain there. So I can talk to you from both angles. And if you are not on New You Nation Network YouTube channel, go over to New You Nation Network YouTube channel and your comment can come up on the screen. If you are on YouTube, you can give super chats if you appreciate what I am saying. And you can tap the screen over on TikTok. So people cheat because cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. I'm going to tell you 3 of the main reasons why people cheat. And I'm going to tell you where I fall into these categories because I fall into a couple of them. So number 1, every person that cheats, the reason why every person cheats across the board, now this is the big one, is because they're immature. Any person who cheats, and I'll get to the other reasons why people cheat, but whatever their reason is for cheating, this is on top. They are cheating because they're immature in an area of their life, whether it is to communicate it, that what they need, or to communicate that they don't want to be there anymore, or to communicate that this is not happening, or to communicate to feel like I feel neglected. They're immature in that area. They're not able to articulate to their partner what it is that they need. So 9 times out of 10, they go outside of the relationship. So every person that cheats, cheating is a sign of immaturity, right? So let's go back to cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. So the bigger problem here is the person or the persons are immature and what it is that they need, how they need to move, and what they learn. So number one reason why people cheat is immaturity. They are immature in their life and they have not matured in different areas that they need to grow in. We're going to go to number 2. If you just tuned in, you're tuned into Relationship Maintenance. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm late tonight, and I may have to push this back to 9:30 because I got 8 p.m. Bible study, and your girl needs Jesus. So I cannot be missing my Bible study to get here to y'all. So we might be pushing this back to 9:30 because we're only going to be here for 30 minutes. I think, messing around with y'all. Y'all ready for number 2? If you're ready for number 2, say I'm ready for number 2 in the chat. If number 1 helped you out, say hallelujah and amen. Thank you so much. I was immature when I cheated. I was very immature. First of all, I got married when I was 21. I was with my ex-husband from the time I was 17, and then I got married when I was 21. And we're going to go to our next reason why people cheat. And I can tell you because it's going to segue right into it. People cheat because they think dysfunction is normal. Somebody need to hear me on that. This is what they think is normal because this is what they've seen their whole entire life. They have seen their mama cheat on their daddy or their daddy cheat on their mama. And most of the time when we are growing up in our homes and it is dysfunction and we see people cheating, usually our parents, no disrespect to our parents, we love them dearly, but they just didn't do some things right. The father will take the children around the other woman and pretend like the other woman is a friend or an auntie or whatever the case may be. Children, we know because we were very smart. Children are very smart. Children pick up on body language like everybody else. They know you don't hug your auntie or your sister like that. So you think that you done told the kid that this is my friend, this is such, and that kid in the back of their mind knows. They don't tell their parent, the other parent, but they know. So the reason why, and I'm answering this question because somebody sent me a DM and asked me why I cheated. Number one, I was very immature when I got married. Probably never should have got married. Probably never should have got married. That's why I told God. Because people be asking me now, Trey, why is you single? Why are 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 you single? And this is what I said to God. I told God this a long time ago after my last relationship. And I've been single for 4 years. 4 years. I've been single for 4 years. The time is flying. Pandemic then threw all of us off. It took a whole bunch of years from my life. Well, anyway, I told God, now be careful what you say to God because he's listening. I told God, don't give me a husband, not until I'm ready. So clearly I'm single because I'm not ready, because he ain't sent them. And I'm okay with that. Because what you're not prepared for or what you're not ready for, you will destroy. So I told God not until I'm ready. So if anybody wants to know why I'm single, because clearly God don't think I'm ready for a husband right now. And I do not want to ruin another marriage because the first marriage I ruined, in case you just tuned in, I'm talking about why people cheat. And because somebody sent me a DM and asked me why I cheated. Number one, I was immature. Number two, I come from a very dysfunctional background. And my stepfather, who lived with me from the time I was a child until he passed away in the bed with my mama, was married to somebody else on the other side of town. So what does that tell a young little Trey at 5 years, 6, 7, 12 years old? This is normal behavior. So when you get tired of your relationship with your person, you just walk away and you just go cheat and you just make it normal. You don't get a divorce. You don't resolve. You just walk out your house one day and go find you somebody else. So people cheat, number one, because they're immature, right? They don't have the skills to be in a healthy relationship. And number two, because they think cheating is normal. And this is a key right here for us women. Most men, and the brothers can chime in, not that we're giving men permission to cheat, but most men have been programmed and taught in their families by their uncles, by their brothers, by their cousins, by their daddy, by all of the male people in their life. Like monogamy is not normal. That is a struggle. A man is not capable of being monogamous. A man is supposed to cheat. Now, when somebody has ingrained that in your brain and told you that this is normal, what do you think you're going to do? You're going to cheat because you're going to think that you don't have the skills or the self-control. Even if you don't want to, you're going to say to yourself, cheating's normal for men. And they still pushing that narrative all over social media. Cheating's not normal. If you love a person, you respect the person, and you do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't want to be with them anymore, you don't cheat, you walk away. You say, this is not working for us, let's go. So number one, people cheat because they're immature. That's the number one reason. That every person that cheats is immature. But cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. And the bigger problem for some is number one, they're immature. Number two, we come from dysfunctional backgrounds and we believe that behavior is normal. Let me drop this gem on you this evening. Dysfunction is not normal. Poor behavior is not normal. Drinking every day is not normal. And I'm just saying the dysfunction that I saw in my life. Having multiple women in your life is not normal. Lying is not normal. But these things have been ingrained in us and have been taught to us by behaviors. Not somebody told us that it's normal. We've seen this and it's become our norm from what we're watching, right? So, number one, immature. Number two, dysfunction is not normal. Here's the one that's going to hurt some of y'all, and I don't care. Here is the one that's going to hurt y'all. Cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. Some of y'all are in relationships where you are neglecting and rejecting your partner. Some of y'all ain't doing what y'all supposed to do in your marriage. Some of y'all have shut your partner out for years. I am not talking to the people that have not had sex in a week or 2 months. I'm talking about cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem when your spouse has to go outside of the house to get a need met that they have expressed to you over and over. And we're not condoning cheating ever, never. Cheating's wrong. Can everybody say that? Can you type it in the chat? Cheating is wrong. Cheating is wrong. We are not giving excuses for cheating. I am telling you, cheating is a symptom of a bigger problem. And this one right here is the biggest problem, one of the biggest problems of all in later marriages. For people who have been married 20 plus years, 10 plus years, 30 years, this happens to marriages where people are shutting down on their spouse. And their spouse feels like they are stuck between a rock and a hard place. This is where the side person comes in. When you keep begging your partner and expressing to your partner your needs, and it falls on deaf ears. When you have gone to the pastor, when you have gone to the therapist, when you have gone to everybody, when you have dotted your I's and crossed your T's, and the person who you want to fulfill your need refuses to fill your need just because they have the power to tell you no. We're not talking about sick people. We're not talking about nobody sick. We're not talking about nobody with a terminal illness. We're not talking about somebody who's mentally, we're talking about healthy men and women who have decided that this is my body and I don't want to do it anymore. And if I don't want to do it, I don't have to do it. But you committed to somebody, and healthy marriages require intimacy. And we're not only talking about sex. Some of y'all just mean. Some of y'all don't treat your spouse right, men and women. Some of y'all are emasculating your husband. Some of y'all are talking down to your man. Some of y'all, you're running around the house, you're looking raggedy. You never do anything to spruce yourself up. And it's a whole lot of temptation outside the house. Some of our husbands, your wife need flowers. Husbands, your wife need foreplay. And when I mean foreplay every day. She needs to be treated nice. She needs to be complimented. She needs to be taken on a date. She needs to be talked to. She needs to be listened to. This is what foreplay looks like for women. She needs help around the house. And I'm not talking about you got to do all the dishes. She needs help around the house. She needs help with the kids. This is foreplay for us. Now I'm dropping nuggets tonight. I'm dropping nuggets on y'all. Y'all got to pick them up when I put them down. So let's get back to the reason why I cheated. And I'm not blaming my ex-husband ever. He was a good husband, is a good dude, always has been a good dude. There was a breach in our marriage because he was a workaholic. And I didn't know how to articulate my needs back then. If I knew then what I know now, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But I didn't know then what I know now because I got married way too young. And these are not excuses. These are just real reasons why I cheated on my husband. And his mentality, which is, most of y'all men don't know nothing about this because y'all wasn't raised this way, but some of y'all was. He grew up in a very functional home with two parents, brothers and sisters. They sat at the table, they ate. They had a very normal life, a very normal family life. I was raised by wolves, and I love my mother respectfully, but my mother was always in survival mode. So when he was doing what he was supposed to do as a husband and a father, which was lead the family, which was to go to protect and provide, I was starving for attention. So when there was a crack in the door, when there was a crack in the door, and I just said, "Hey, my mother and my stepfather were together, and he just left his wife and came over here with us." This is what I'm telling you. So if you have children right now, if you have children in your home that are young or even teenagers, you need to turn around some things in your life because what you're doing right now, as an example to them, if you don't want them to do it, you need to change that right now because they are not going to do what you say. They are going to do what they see you doing. I actually, to God be the glory, I've changed my life now. But I actually have done everything that my mother did. My parents divorced. God rest my mother's soul, and my mother would tell a story. My parents divorced because my mother cheated on my father and had a baby by somebody else. Let that marinate. Listen, I cheated on my husband. I didn't have the baby that dissolved our marriage. The marriage, my parents got divorced because my mother had this baby outside of the marriage, and my father found out about the baby outside of the marriage. I went outside of my marriage. I didn't have the baby that dissolved our marriage, but I do have a baby with the man that I cheated on my husband with. The blueprint, the blueprint, I promise you, sometimes I look at my life and I compare it to my mother's path. And most of my early 25, 30s, let's say 34 to 44, is a blueprint of my mother's life. Because who else is our hero? But again, I decided that I didn't want my life to end the same way that my mother's life ended. And it was a lot, there was drugs, alcohol, and a lot of other things that we'll talk about on relationship maintenance so that we can turn these things around. So I encourage you, if you have a dysfunctional background and you have not gotten help, whether it is life coaching, therapy, pastoral care, and your life is in the shambles. My life was in the shambles up until about 10 years ago. I'll be 55 till I was about 45 years old. My life was in the shambles. I'm trying to tell, I'm not talking about from a place of this happened to me 25, 20 years ago. I'm talking about I just got on track 10 years ago and my family is still bouncing back and still dealing with the residue of my infidelity. And I'll talk more about where my family is in a private space. So if you are a member on YouTube, I'll talk more about my relationship with my children over there because I don't want to disrespect my children. And I am estranged from one of my children right now. And I don't want to put any of his business out there in public out of respect for him. Right? That's all. I don't want to put any business out there. But if you are in a membership on YouTube, you can go to New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And if you're on YouTube right now, you can become a member. All you have to do is hit the member tab. And I'll be having some more intimate conversations because I don't want to disrespect my ex-husband. I don't want to bust open old wounds, but I do want to share to help families. That's what I do for a living. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. I help men, women, and families bounce back from the devastation of infidelity, and I help individuals bounce back from betrayal faster. So this is my life's ministry because nothing I did was in vain. Okay, I'm a member on YouTube. Okay, good. So I'll be coming on there and you'll get alerts from me where I'm going to have private conversations with my members because I know that my life affected my sons in a detrimental way. And that hurts me to this day sometimes because I never want to live in regret because what I did, and I want this to free somebody tonight, the decisions that I made back then was what I thought was best back then because I didn't know any better. But when you know better, you do better. I have turned my life around drastically. I don't make decisions out of my feelings anymore. I make decisions based on facts. I make decisions based out, is the risk worth the reward? I weigh the pros and cons. I ask myself sincerely, who is this going to affect? And how is it going to affect them? But these are life skills. I teach a program called Life Skills. And this is what I did not know. Decision making and problem solving is a life skill. Did y'all know that? There are 7 critical life skills that you must master in order to be successful in your personal and professional life. And I did not have any of these life skills. And a major one was decision making and problem solving. I've been running around here for years, up until I was 44 years old, operating on my feelings, how I felt. And that stopped working for me a long time ago. So I'm encouraging you to do the work on you. Now, for the woman who asked me why I cheated because I was immature. I did not know how to communicate. I was bad at decision making, and I was in a fog. And check this out. Oh, Lord. Okay, God, I said I was going to be transparent. I'm going to be transparent. Every bad decision I ever made, I was drunk. Because I used to drink a lot. But I thought dysfunction was normal. Everybody in my family drank a lot. Drank. Y'all know what I mean. Everybody in my family were drinkers. So this was normal. So as I look back on my life, as I did the work, as I was in coaching, I was in therapy, I asked myself, why did I make these decisions? And every decision that I made, 9 out of the 10 times, I was drunk. And what bothered me about that is that I wasn't an alcoholic. See, it's one thing when you're alcoholic, because alcoholism is a disease, right? It's a disease. Like, you really need I didn't need alcohol. You know why I know I didn't need alcohol? I didn't drink when I was pregnant. Alcoholics can't stop drinking when they're pregnant. I didn't drink when I was pregnant. There were times I didn't drink. So one day it bothered me that I said to myself, this is crazy. I don't even know why I'm telling you all this, but I'm here to help. One day I said to myself, you ain't an alcoholic, you a drunk. Well, not only are you a drunk, but you a sloppy drunk. And you make bad decisions when you're drinking. And you destroyed your life drinking. So why are you still drinking? So these are the reasons why people cheat. When you don't let your man or your wife go out and be desperate and thirsty for anything that you can give them in your home. Because desperate and thirsty people make bad decisions. Number one, they make bad decisions already. But most adult, desperate, thirsty people go to the bar to drink. And then they're desperate, thirsty, and drunk, which is a recipe for disaster. So I'll tell y'all more about my escapades. But I don't know how much I could tell, because my whole story is not out there of different things. And I don't want to open up old wounds for my ex-husband and for my ex's ex-wife, because I don't know if they've healed. I don't even know if you can heal from something like this without the proper help. So this is another thing that hurt me to my core. And I'm being real honest about cheating, because people think people that cheat are no good. Like, we don't have feelings. Like, we did this and we're villains and all of this other stuff. I'm not. This is what hurt me the most. I'm going to talk about this. And this is not to tarnish the man that I cheated with, my son's father. This is not to tarnish him, because the decisions that I made to cheat with him were my decisions. So I'm never talking bad about him. The decisions that he made to cheat on his wife were his decisions, and he has to live with that. But he cheated on me several times, which I should have expected, because we was both cheaters back then. Go figure. I thought I was special. But anyway, you're never special, ladies and gentlemen. You're never special. You're never special. Just understand that you're never special. But he cheated on me several times and it hurt me so bad, right? That hurt. That hurt that I left my home. I took my children out of their safe environment. I took them from their normal stuff, which completely turned their life around, only for us not to work. And I stayed way too long with him to prove that we was gonna work because I left my family. I left everything for this man. You know what I'm saying? I left. Like yo, and I was just staying and torturing myself because I felt like I have to make this work. I have to make this work. But when he cheated on me, he pierced my soul. Like he hurt me deep down inside, right? And I was lying to people and I was hiding from people and my hair was falling out and I was so skinny when I had my youngest son. I'm 5'10" and a half. I weighed about 120 pounds, which is crazy. Right after I had him, 125 pounds, I weighed 125. You know how skinny I was at 125 pounds at 5'10" and a half? Right after I had my son, because I was so stressed out with all of this cheating because he was living with another woman and I didn't know. And listen, I'm telling too much right now. But anyway, it pierced my soul and it hurt me so bad, right? So I was sick. I was physically sick, emotionally sick. I was sick. So the way that I felt, then I was sicker. Listen to me, y'all. And people don't understand this. Is sicker a word? Sicker, sicker, whatever. I was really sick. More than the fact that he hurt me, I was sick because I left my husband and his ex-wife and the condition and the pain that I was in. And I could not forgive myself. Even when I think about it to this day, I forgive myself, but it still gives me feelings when I think about that I left them in that condition. And that broke me and put me in a prison of guilt for about 4 years. Like I really couldn't, I didn't want to look at myself in the mirror. I didn't like myself. I said, how? Because you don't know how it feels to do that to somebody until it happens to you. And I was so disappointed in myself because that is not who I am. I was so disappointed in myself that I left my husband in this state of condition where he had to hide from his family, where he had to tell them lies, where he was embarrassed and ashamed, where he couldn't sleep at night, where he was balled up. I don't know. This is what happened to me. I couldn't sleep at night. I was balled up on the bathroom floor, out of the shower with a towel around me. I was crying every day. My hair was falling out. I couldn't think. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. It was just devastating. And it killed me to my core that I left two people in that condition, that I did that to them. And it took me a long time to forgive myself. So to my people out here who are cheating on your spouses, you're going to feel such a pain when it happens to you, because it's going to happen to you. You reap what you sow. This is not karma. This is biblical. You will reap what you sow. If you sow bitter fruit, you will reap the bitter fruit. And it hurt me so bad that I had did that to them, that it took me a long time to be able to forgive myself and let go of the regret. And we haven't even talked about the damage that I did to my children. And I had a conversation with my son one time, my oldest son, and right now he's not speaking to me. I'm no contact. So I respect his privacy. He asked me for no contact. I said, okay, it is not my place to force him to want to be in my life after all of the things that I've done. I've apologized. Sincerely, I apologized. I told him what I was apologizing for because he was in my car life and I took him over some raggedy roads, some bumps. I done drove him off the highway through some bushes. I done did some things in front of him that I should have never did. And I had a conversation with him many years ago. I think he was 20. He'll be 30 soon. This had to be 10 years ago. This is when I got back on track. But I had a conversation with him 10 years ago and I said to him, and every time I tell this, it just pierces me and it just makes me want parents to understand that your children are watching you. I said to him when we were doing an interview, and I need to post this interview, but I can't do it until we get back on track because I don't want to disrespect his space. He asked me and I respect that he doesn't say anything about me. And I'm going to talk about him a little and not to disrespect him. I will never say anything bad about my son. But I asked him this question in the interview. I said, "How did it make you feel knowing the things that I done? Like, how did it make you feel about women?" Right? This was my question to him. And he looked at me. He said, "Mommy, I know you're not the same person and you're doing better. I don't want to hurt your feelings." So I said, "No, you need to say what you need to say because I need you to get past it so you could take the boulders off of my life, my boulders off your back." And he looked at me and he said, every time I think about this, it just hurts, but I'm good. He looked at me and he said, "It didn't make me feel any way about women. It made me not want a woman like you." He said, "It made me not want a woman like you." And that right there really was a pivotal moment in my life to turn my life around and to tell other parents, your children are watching you and you don't want to damage them. Somebody said, "Damn." I know that's how I felt when he said it. I had to tell him to stop the camera. I said, "Yo, I just need y'all to stop taping for like 1 minute. Let me go gather myself." Because I didn't expect him to say that. I expected him to speak his truth, but I didn't expect him to say, "It made me not want a woman like you." Woo! So that's our talk for tonight. That's our 30 minutes. So I hope that you guys come back on Tuesday. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday for relationship maintenance at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I may be a little bit late on Thursdays because I have Bible study at 8 o'clock. Usually we get out of there at 8:45, but we went over a little bit tonight. And I just want to help you mend, repair, maintain, sustain, and remain in healthy relationships by understanding that you don't have to do it alone, but you have to work on you. You have to work on you. And I would appreciate everybody to go to the New You Nation Network YouTube channel and subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications. This is Relationship Maintenance. My name is Trey Kearney. I'm a certified life and relationship coach. I help men, women, and families heal from the devastation of infidelity, and I help individuals bounce back from betrayal. I'm your favorite relationship mechanic, and I will see you next time. Peace and blessings. I love y'all.